Good morning, students. Today we'll learn about few more models, that is must, have to, has to, ought to, dare and need. So first of all we'll start with must. Students, must is also a very important model. Now let's discuss its uses. Must is used to express necessity or obligation, or it's a kind of a duty, we must say. It also refers to laws and regulations. For example, you must take part in this competition. So it's a necessity that you must take part in this competition. Some more examples we can take. People must remain seated until the show is over. Now here it is also a kind of obligation for the people to remain seated until the show gets over. We must wear helmets while driving two-wheelers. So this is also a kind of a law and regulation which people must follow. Then we can also say it is used to indicate assumptions or conclusions. Now assumption and conclusion, in the sense, she must be here in the evening. It means it is my assumption, because of some clues, because of some reasons I have come to know that she must be here in the evening. I can also say, for this particular purpose, she must have been at home. Her car was there. It means I had seen her car and I knew that she must be at home. Now, in case of prohibition, suppose when we prohibit somebody to do something, it means when we want somebody to stop doing something, we use this model. For example, you must not bunk school. You mustn't use your phone while driving. You must not tell this to anyone. So these are prohibition. I don't want you to do these things. In this case we use must. We also use must for positive logical assumptions, like for this kind of particular structure we need must plus have plus the third form of the verb. For example, she must have been at home because she carries this project from her home. Then if we want to show that something is true or certainly going to happen, means based on evidences, you have some evidences, you have some proofs, and you want to show that something is true. Like for example, we can say, look at the snow, it must be really cold outside, right? The ground is wet this morning, it must have rained last night. Now it means I have some proofs, I have some evidences for which I am saying that something is true. Must. After must, we'll take another model, that is have to, has to and had to. Now students, have to, has to and had to, these are, had to is the past form of must, and have to, has to and had to, these are the models which can be used with any of the subjects. Now have to, first we'll take have to. Have to used to express obligation or compulsion, same as must. Same as the use of must, both have similar in meaning, so we can use both of them either. Now students, have to is used to suggest some kind of compulsion, or there is some rule which has to be followed or the situation requires it. To express, for example, I have to reach school early. She has to work late in the office. They had to follow the instructions. Now here I have used have to, has to and had to. Now had to is past form of must, and have to is past form of have to also. Now we can see this, if I am saying that you must spend some time with your parents, it means I want you to do this. Now have to is showing some type of we can say it's a kind of external compulsion which I want you to do, right? So we can also say that some of the students get confused between use of must and have to. So have to is more informal, while must is mostly used in written orders or instructions. Must expresses obligation imposed by the speaker, means he wants us to do something what he is saying, while have to is showing external compulsion. For example, as a teacher we use must for students, whereas as a students you people use have to for yourself. For example, if the teacher say you must complete your work by Monday, right? But as a student you will say like this, ma'am, do we have to complete this work by Monday? Here you are not using must for yourself, right? So this is the basic difference between have to and must. Now one more thing, that when we have to frame questions, it is more common to use have to instead of must. For example, when do we have to finish this work or this report? Now here you are asking a question, so we will not use must in framing questions. Instead of must, we'll use have to or has to according to the subject. Now the past tense of must is had to, as I have told you. The had to is to for example, I had to complete my sister's work yesterday. Now here I am talking about something which I did yesterday, so I cannot use must here. So for that, for the purpose of must, I'll use had to in place of must, and the past form of must is had to. And for this I have to use time expression like the words yesterday or in the last month or last year. Now students, one more confusion I would like to clear, that must not, when we have to say something must not, we use mustn't or must not form, that is negative form of must, whereas the negative form of have to includes do, does and did, right? Do with the subjects like I, we, you and they, and does with he, she, it or any other subject. Now for example, must not shows the prohibition, means it is not allowed. Remember this thing in your mind, that must not shows that something is prohibited and it is not allowed, whereas don't have to or doesn't have to shows no obligation, means you are not required to do something, especially if you don't want to do. This is the difference. Must is something that is prohibited, it means you are not allowed to, whereas don't have to shows the obligation where you are not required to do something, especially because you don't want to do it, is on your own will, right? Students, we can say that have to is used in all tenses. We can use have to in all tenses. We can use it in present, past and future. Now if I have to talk about past tense, I can say I have given you example that I had to complete my sister's work yesterday. So this is, I have used had to in past tense. But if I have to use the same sentence or the same model for the present tense, I'll say I have to do my sister's work today. It means I am showing that this is something, an external compulsion which I have to complete. Now for future, I can say frame the same sentence with the help of have to. I will say like this: I will have to do my sister's work by 6 p.m. or by tomorrow morning. So this is the use of have to. We can use have to in all the tenses, whether it is present, past or future. Now next model is ought to. Now ought to, as you all know, that ought to, it conveys that it would be the right thing to do with us as a sense of moral duty, right? It does not show any compulsion. It is something which is our moral duty. It does not have any past form, only used with reference to the present and future. Now to express an obligation or an expectation that someone should do something, we use ought to. Ought to. Now for example, you ought to respect your parents, you ought to serve the nation. Now this is a sense of moral duty. There is nobody who has obliged us to do this thing. There is no compulsion. This is only a moral duty that we ought to respect our parents, we ought to serve our nation. I ought to phone my parents because it's my moral duty. Now if I have to frame a sentence with not, with using not, I just simply add not between ought and to, right? Ought to is also used to give advices. You ought to study hard to achieve success. Now suppose I have to give you suggestion or advice, I can use ought to. Now here you have seen this example, you ought to study hard to achieve success. Now negative use of ought to be is not common, instead we can use shouldn't. Now there is a negative form of ought to, but this is not common. We use shouldn't in place of ought to. To talk about what is desired or ideal, we may say, or what is good for somebody or something or all, we use ought to. For example, they ought to water plants of their garden. So it's a kind of a duty which they supposed to do. We can take one more example. We ought to eat lots of fruit and green vegetables. So this is something, this is not compulsory, but it's a kind of a thing which we want you to do, and we want that it is good for you. Now if you need to talk about things which were desired in the past but didn't happen, you can use ought to plus have, then verb's third form, that is the ed form of the verb. It means here it expresses the regret, means जैसे आप कहते हैं ना पछतावा, किसी काम को जो होना चाहिए था बट नहीं हुआ. In that case we use ought to also. For example, we ought to have locked the gate but unfortunately we forget. हमें दरवाजे को ताला लगाना चाहिए था बट हमने नहीं लगाया. So this is the case in which we supposed to do something, but because of something, some other reasons, or because of our negligence, we forget to do something, or the thing didn't happen. We use ought to. I can take one more example. I ought to have studied to crack this exam, but I didn't. Now there is you may say there is a confusion between ought to and should. Now they are similar in meaning, students. Should is more common than ought to. You have seen that we mostly use should in place of ought to. It is similar, both are similar in meaning. We can use ought to as well as should in any sentence. Both are similar in meaning. Ought to is little bit formal as compared to should. Should is more common, so we use should in place of ought to mostly. Now you can use either, right? If you had to put a question tag to a sentence, now suppose if you are having any sentence in which ought to is there, it's very very important, just keep this thing in mind. If you have any sentence in which ought to is there, please, and if you are asked to put a question tag, then the question tag must be shouldn't. If the sentence is positive, it is saying something with the ought to, you have to put a negative tag with should not. If this sentence carries ought not to, you have to put a positive tag, that is should. For example, I'll tell you one example. There ought to be a speed limit here, right? This is a sentence. There ought to be a speed limit here. It means यहाँ एक speed limit होनी चाहिए. Now this is a sentence and I have to put a question tag for it. Now as you see, this statement is positive, so I have to frame a tag for it, and the tag must be negative. So we will not frame a tag with ought not to, we will write shouldn't there, right? So this is how we can use ought to. Now let's move to the next model, that is need. Now the first use of need. In negatives, it is used to show lack of usefulness or necessity. You need not have gone to meet him. It means you did something which is not required. In interrogative, it is used to ask such usefulness or necessity. Need I speak to him? Now here I am asking to myself, need I speak to him? In affirmative, it expresses usefulness or necessity. I need to go to him. Now it is showing usefulness or necessity to do something. Now students, need is mostly used in negative sentences and in affirmative sentences with negative meaning. There is no past tense form of this. It expresses absence of necessity, right? It can be used as a modal verb as well as a main verb. Now first we'll take example of main verb. Now as a main verb, I'll give you one example. I need her support. Now here I have not used need as a main verb, I have used it as a main verb. Now need के बाद आप देख सकते हैं इसमें मैंने कोई other verb use नहीं की. It means it is showing that I have used it as a main verb, not as a modal. The moment I say you need not worry about her. Now here I have used two verbs. One is worry and second is need not. So here need not act as a modal, right? Now need, it is used in perfect tenses to show that it would have been correct if the work was not done or in the manner in which it was done. It means something was done unnecessarily, which is not required. We can take one example. You needn't have abused her, but you have abused. It means you have abused her, but there was no need to do that. One more example. They need not have sold their new car. It means उन्होंने अपनी नई गाड़ी बेच दी है, but जिसकी ज़रूरत नहीं थी. It means they have sold their new car but they didn't need to. So you can see that need is a model which is used to show lack of usefulness or necessity. It's also a very very important model which we have to use mostly. Now the next is dare. Now students, dare is used to express courage to do something or a challenge. Now in negative, it is used to show lack of courage. I dare not disturb them. In interrogative, it is used to ask about such courage. How dare you disturb them? Right? Now it means not to be afraid to do something, or it asks you for something that requires courage. It is mostly used in negative sentences and in questions. Right? Now this is the use of all these models I have explained you. I hope you have find it useful. Now the last one left is used to. Now students, used to, it is also another model. It is used for a discontinued habit or the past situation. It means it is no longer in practice now. He used to play daily. It means now he is not playing, nor he plays, because now it is not his habit. He used to do it in past. It is not continued to the present. Something existing in the past but not in present. This used to be a dense jungle before. It means now it is not dense. It used to be. Right? So this is all about these models. Please, on the basis of your comprehension of these models, you have to fill these blanks to check yourself whether you have able to grasp what has been told, what has been explained. Thank you.